Knights at the Round Table, a round-table discussion on speculative fiction books and film. Hi everybody, welcome to the next episode of Knights at the Round Table. Today we are discussing the 2019, oh my lord, 2019.
There's the 19.
Yeah, there's the 19. Miniseries, I almost said 1999, I'm like, no. Miniseries, Good Omens, based on the book by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett by the same name. I'm sitting at the table with Marjolaine and with Jen, and I'd like to start with general impressions of the miniseries. You haven't been here in a bit, Jen, you're going first.
So general impressions would be, oh my gosh, wow.
Thanks, Nathan.
We'll have the DVDs once we can possibly buy them, but we don't have them.
Yeah. Marjolaine?
Very, very similar. I did like this series a lot. I got the Amazon Prime 30-day free trial subscription just to try it.
Just to watch it?
Just to watch it. I really liked it. I do have a couple of questions, but not like criticism. Just, I wonder why they went
that way. Rather than...
Yeah. So for myself, I thoroughly enjoyed this miniseries. It was as adorable as you could possibly imagine it to be. Mm-hmm. And just fucking...
More.
Yeah, more!
More adorable.
Aziraphale and Crowley for life. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
They are so cute.
When I first read the book, I adored Crowley anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But
sorry, Crowley, my bad.
I wasn't so fond of Aziraphale. And the miniseries completely changed my mind about him. Like, 100%.
What a sweet dork. Yeah, it was a really great miniseries. They hit on all the things in the book that I remember that I very much enjoyed. My favourite scene was in there, and, I mean, it wouldn't have worked if they had taken it out, but that driving the car on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor Bentley, and also, the visuals were amazing.
Yeah, the poor David Tennant.
Yeah, he had to drive an actual flaming car. It's so great. Like, amazing that is...
Wait, whoa! He did?
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
And the scene in the bookshop. The bookshop was actually on fire.
Ow!
Everything that had to do with fire.
The flaming sword,
flaming sword, they were actually on fire.
They were practical effects, not CGI.
Yeah.
Go team!
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So my favorite scene, though, we've already mentioned it, bookshop.
Yeah.
When it's on fire, David Tennant's acting in that.
Yeah,
it's just
when he
like,
thinks he lost
here's
his...
my heart.
Yeah.
Like,
when he thinks he lost Aziraphale, I'm like, oh my
gosh.
No,
Yeah.
actually, weirdly enough, a couple of times where I teared up in watching this, and yeah, that was one of them. I was actually like, but also, aww.
Yeah.
The bit that made me go, aww, is when Crowley was like, I lost my best friend, and I'm like, oh my god, you two are
just
so cute.
The heartbreak on his face. Oh my god.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But then, like, Aziraphale's reaction, just the sort of soft little, oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I don't think he realized that it was him.
Oh, I think he did.
Oh, he did.
You do?
Oh, I think so. Just that expression was sort of so soft and vaguely flattered, and it was really awesome.
And that was
I love
after the
them.
bandstand scene where he, like, said, no, I don't even like you.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That's what I understand why it's there. I understand because in the book, from Thursday to, like, Saturday at noon, Crowley and Aziraphale are barely in the book. And they've clearly rebuilt the show to include those two more and to make them more the protagonists. Because it would be weird if they were missing for almost half the show.
Yes.
But the bandstand scene didn't land as well for me. It was like, it felt a bit awkward.
I mean, yes, I guess, but also, to me, it was just like, oh, lover's tiff. Like, basically.
Yeah, I guess it just... After when the other demons have caught up with him and he's driving back to the bookshop and like, okay, whatever I said, I'm sorry, please, we have to go now together. That scene hit better. It landed better for me than the bandstand scene.
Yeah. Yeah. So cute.
So what about the them?
Oh, the 4 kids.
Oh yeah, the them. Sorry, I'm like them. What are you talking? Oh yeah, the gang.
Yeah.
The sort of gang of weird misfits. That yeah, I quite liked the them. I liked how quirky their personalities were.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed with those kids acting
Yes.
skills. Like,
Yeah, they did.
they were completely believable to me.
I'm finding child actors more and more are getting far more skilled. They're like, oh, you're not just a cute little kid trying to act. It's like you are actually these characters, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked when they went to get their bikes. That it ended up that the girl of the group didn't actually have like the girliest bike there. And I remember reading a meme about it, because of course Facebook, that's all it's good for, is memes. And about how, like, the differences between, oh my god, my brain is frying. The Antichrist Adam, thank you. And, what's her name? What's the girl's name?
Pepper.
Thank you. Yeah, my brain is fried. It's only, I don't know what time in the afternoon, but yeah, my brain is dead. And she's complaining about the girliness of a bike with a basket, and like his imagination, like, oh, a basket would be really useful actually.
For his dog.
For his dog! Oh, I loved his dog.
Yes. I love how they portrayed that, like this huge, terrifying monster. Boop.
Tiny little terrier. And then he
for me.
runs into the witch's house, and with the
horseshoe.
and the tiny little bit of evil is burned away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if, like, Crowley tried to go in there. Would he be able to?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think any of the other demons would be able to, but could Crowley?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, because he's been so...
He's been on Earth for so long.
Humanized?
He's been so civilized, for want of a better
I'd say
word.
humanized.
Humanized, because he spent so long in the world around humans, and also Aziraphale.
Performing miracles.
Oh, one of my other favourite scenes that made me laugh almost till I cried was, and this is going to sound awful, but the crucifixion scene.
Oh, I cried. Like, that was heartbreaking, that scene.
But what made me laugh is when Crowley is like, well, what did he do? And Aziraphale was like, he told everybody to be good to each other. And Crowley was like,
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
oh yeah, that'll do it. And then I laughed, because, yes, actually.
Yes.
Well, it's good that they had that spot of humor in that particular
Yes,
scene,
that's
because
true.
it was
Yeah, they did
very
not shy away
hard.
from showing.
They weren't even showing it, really.
Well, they did show the nail going through the wrist.
I closed my eyes. I can't watch that part, but you hear it,
Yeah.
and it's almost worse because you're imagining it, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that whole, I think they call it a cold open
Yeah.
in
Oh,
the
yeah,
beginning
before
of
the
the
credits,
season
yeah.
3,
The episode 3. Yeah.
episode 3, that whole history scene,
Yeah.
so cool.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, can we talk about the opening music, please?
I have it as my ringtone now.
It is so good, though!
Actually, no, I have it as the end scene for my ringtone, because it's starting to turn into Queen.
Oh, yes! Yeah, they did that very well, too.
Yeah.
Everything turns
All
into
the
Queen.
touches.
Yeah,
Oh my
their
god.
attention to detail was incredible!
Every song was relevant to what was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Every piece of clothing choice. Jasmine should be here, because I think she could go on about the clothing choices for
Yes.
hours. I just found out today that the tartan that Aziraphale is wearing is made for Aziraphale. Like, they
It's like-
made a new tartan. The costume designers made a new tartan for him, and then when he gets discorporated and appears back up in heaven, it's gone.
It's gone, yeah, he doesn't have it.
And
It's,
then,
I think the tartan itself is called like a touch of heaven or something like that.
yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
I Again, Facebook memes.
Yes.
But,
Well, it was
it
on
was-
Tumblr first.
Okay, so it was actually you who posted it. I read
Yes,
it
I
from
did.
your wall about them going on about the tartans and how actually technically if you're wearing a tartan, you can't wear it unless you have permission from the tartan's owner or you're a member of that clan. So anybody in the Commonwealth, for example, can wear the Red Stewart because the Red Stewart is the Queen's own tartan and she being the Chief of Chiefs, everybody in the Commonwealth is part of her clan. You can wear that, that's fine. If you are a MacDonald, don't be running around in a Campbell tartan. Also, side note, funny story from my retail days when I used to work at a place called O'Shea's Market Ireland. We sold tartans, and I was talking tartans with somebody, and then he stops midway through his sentence, squints at me and goes, "You're not a MacDonald, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a MacDonald. Do I sound like a MacDonald?" And he goes, "Oh, because I'm a Campbell." And then he goes on about a battle that was 400 years ago. And I'm like, "Dude, let it go." Neither of us were born then.
I wonder if I'm a MacDonald. My grandfather was MacDonnell.
MacDonnell is...
Scottish.
Yeah, it is Scottish. Is it part of the MacDonald clan? I used to know all of this.
I don't know.
It's fled my mind.
Totally irrelevant. Sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting.
Yeah, it might be one of the families under that clan. Who knows?
Not
Anyway.
us.
No, that was a beautiful touch. And also, I was going on about the meme, about how when the tartan appears on other objects, it's Aziraphale giving them to...
It missed
Really?
one in that meme. So there's the thermos,
Thermos.
And
which
the bike
is
rack.
very, very obvious.
Yeah,
The bike rack, which I didn't notice.
no.
But then the last one is on
The collar.
collar at the end when
And
Aziraphale
that's the question.
is.
Well, that's the thing. It's Aziraphale is pretending to be Crowley. so
But
he's
then when
putting
they
the
switch
tartan on.
back, doesn't it appear on Crowley again?
Yeah, but Crowley switches it back again.
But he still gave it to him.
Yeah,
Sort
I
of.
guess.
So that's essentially him saying, "Hey, you're my clan."
But was it the same tartan?
I think
can't remember.
you were telling me that the thermos
Yeah,
had to be
the
modified
thermos
because
had to
it
be
didn't quite
slightly
fit.
modified because it didn't quite fit the circular
Mm.
pattern on the.
But
on
the
thermos.
intent may have been there.
Yeah.
And honestly, to the sharp-eyed person who figured that out, holy crap! That's some impressive, like...
Probably
pulling in details.
cosplayer,
Yeah,
honestly.
maybe.
or a fashion designer, because I've followed several people on Tumblr because they were into the fashions and like they talked about the different eras and the different clothing choices that they had in this, and I was like, my mind is blown. Is this what Jasmine feels like all the time?
Probably. Actually. I cannot get used to Michael Sheen with blonde hair.
I hadn't seen him before, so this was my
Oh,
first.
really? This was your first?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I remember Michael Sheen from, like, Underworld. He played the werewolf, whose name I think was Lucan.
Mm.
I saw him in Frost Nixon before the
Frost Nixon.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant actor.
Mhm.
He really is spectacular.
I plan on watching some more later. Masters and Johnson. I want to see that.
I have heard a lot about that, but I have not watched it.
You'll
Yeah.
like it. I'm sure I would like it. It's Masters and Johnson. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I really like him as an actor. I really like him as a personality, actually. There's not been a single interview of his that I've watched that he hasn't made me giggle. He's very funny.
Have you watched the Celebrity Bake Off?
Yes, when he tried to bathe the Welsh dragon. It was such a disaster.
It was like him asking Jamila, who was behind him, "So, do you need any help?" Like, she actually growled at him. It was so funny.
He's such a delightful person. I would like to shake his hand one day.
Oh, if he comes to Comic-Con, I don't know whether I'll, like,
Faint.
faint or, like, burble over, like I did the last time I met somebody that I was completely, like, about.
So, as requested by the Peanut Gallery, thanks Nathan, let's talk gender in this series, which I really loved how they played with gender and race and did not give AF about it. I'm enjoying that very much. I love that God was voiced by a woman.
I actually prefer it.
Okay.
I found. Like, it feels weird to be at church this morning and them referencing God as a he, and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
The good boy.
That's not normal. I
Yeah.
hate normal.
Also, I really enjoyed her voice. She's a
Frances
good
McDormand,
speaker. Yeah,
she's good.
she's good. She's got a very pleasant speaking voice, and I enjoyed it very much.
I think it's also really interesting that the angels and demons are not considered on the binary. Like,
Yeah, so
we've been told they are not human, therefore they are not male and female, and I guess they're the in-between part.
yeah,
So
they're anywhere on that spectrum. Like, angels and demons with masculine names were cast as women, for example, and you're just like, yeah,
okay.
yeah, okay, makes perfect sense to me. That would be how they choose to present, I guess.
Beelzebub is non-binary.
Yeah.
Their pronouns are zer.
Yes,
I read that somewhere. I like that.
And I very much appreciate how you were saying how gender fluid Crowley is.
And he seems comfortable no matter what he's wearing or how he's portrayed.
Yeah, what he's presenting as. I really enjoyed that about him. And in fact, it was such a non-event that I didn't notice it until people pointed it out. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh. Well then. Because it didn't feel out of place or wrong. It was just, that's Crowley.
Yeah.
And they didn't make it into a joke, which...
No, yeah, which is nice. Like, he showed up as
Nanny.
Nanny, which could have been, like, played off for laughs, but it wasn't. He was Nanny, that's it.
Then Aziraphale was the last.
And I like how the poor kid, the American ambassador's son, yeah, Warlock, getting these conflicting sort of stories from Nanny and from the gardener, and his parents clearly have no influence on him whatsoever.
Both of the influences were incredibly thickly laid on, too. Like, I'm sorry, but if anybody talked to me the way Brother Francis talked to Warlock, I'd be like, yeah, no, go back. Like, that was just too much.
The lullaby.
The lullaby was hilarious, and I'm like, could I sing that to my children? It's a little too much.
Well, Killasher gets nightmares, right? Sometimes.
Sometimes. She hasn't had many lately. But...
Yeah. See, I don't know, if I had somebody singing that to me, maybe I would get nightmares. My overactive imagination would just take over.
I
fall
sing
asleep
her
to
the
a
Misty
pop
Mountain song, like...
Yeah, but that's not nearly as apocalyptic as
Yeah.
the world ending. Also, it's a beautiful folk song. Are you talking...
The Misty Mountain?
I mean,
yeah,
Misty
okay, good.
Mountain
I was going to say...
Not the lullaby. That was not a beautiful folk song.
I didn't think so.
Song of the Lonely
that's
Mountain is also...
It's the same melody, I think, the lullaby, and a couple of it as the... It's a theme song that plays a lot, like it's the main musical theme of the show, I think.
Oh.
That's been reworked
Maybe.
in a bunch of different scenes.
Oh, you might be right.
I'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Oh no. What a tragedy.
I've already promised a friend and my sister that I would watch it with them, and I'm like, don't come at the same time.
Yeah, it is genuinely that enjoyable. I'm sure if I watched, because I only watched it once a couple of weeks, I don't have Amazon Prime. Watched it once a couple of weeks ago at a friend's place, because he was so enthusiastic about it. I'm like, yeah, actually I do kind of want to watch it. He's like, come over for dinner and we'll watch it. I'm like, okay. So I went over and I watched it and literally binged the whole thing in one sitting. It was so good. And I know if I watch it again, I will pick up on so many of the smaller details that I missed, just because half the time I was staring at the screen like this. Food halfway in my mouth, just...
Can we talk about something that wasn't in the book?
Yes, absolutely.
The end, when they switch places.
yeah.
Oh, yes! Oh, I love that!
I read the book after I watched the miniseries, and then I watched the miniseries again, because I was like, I have to do this, because I can't rewatch it again. Anyways, that scene where they switch places, I did not know what to expect. Like, I wasn't sure if they switched places or they just became so much like the other that they were immune. And
same.
then we had to watch it that bit again just to catch all the little bits, and it's like, oh my gosh. The way they're standing at the ice cream stand, and they acted so...
Yeah. I've been spoiled for that bit, but I knew, I was trying to figure out when it became obvious to me, when I was like, oh yeah, I think that's when I would have picked up, even if I hadn't known. It's when Crowley took the cab instead of the Bentley. That was like,
oh
yeah,
see, your brain works way better than mine. Like, I'm just sitting there absorbing it all like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll believe anything. Yeah, okay. Crowley took the cab. Okay, yeah, sure.
I was like, why didn't he take the Bentley? Like, yay for it being back, but why didn't he take it? He must be going somewhere where he can't take it. Or something.
Oh yeah, such a thing exists.
I know, right?
Maybe it would have passed by if I hadn't been prepped to look for it. But that was the point. I was like, okay, no, yeah, that's
the
clue number one.
Yeah.
I should have realized, but I didn't. I don't know.
I should have too, but I'm dumb. Like, when I'm so involved in something, I don't pick up on anything whatsoever. I just absorb it like a sponge. Yeah, sure, makes sense. Even if it doesn't.
Well, like I said, I seriously thought that they just had absorbed enough of each other that they were...
That's the first thing that went through my mind until they were sitting at the bench together at the end. Or at dinner, I think.
The bench is when they switched, and then they went to Ritz.
Yes, and then they went to dinner. And yeah, it was after, when they were sitting down at dinner, I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot! Oh, duh!
But rewatching it, knowing that they're each other, there's so many little subtle things. Like when Gabriel is so rude to Aziraphale, you see the jaw clench, and you're like, oh, Crowley. I mean, Michael Sheen. Great! Because you can see, like, he would have been fine. But you insult his angel?
Yeah!
No.
Not my best friend. I love them so much. They make me so happy. So it took me a while to watch it. So when all the people started raving about this relationship between Aziraphale and Crowley, I'm like, I mean, yeah, it was pretty cute in the books, but what is all the fuss about? And then I watched it and I'm like, oh, you guys are literally my favorite couple ever.
The way that Crowley looks at Aziraphale, you can't even see his eyes, but you can see. Impressive.
Yes, very impressive, and so cute.
Can we also talk another one?
Yes.
About another one of my favorite characters?
Yes.
Madame Tracy.
Yes! Oh my god, I love her!
And another thing that wasn't in the book, her stopping Aziraphale. Like, I don't think the book...
In the book, it's happening, the discussion between Shadwell, Tracy, Aziraphale, blah, blah, it's happening at the same time as them are fighting the Horse of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's like in parentheses, but it's happening at the same time. It's not like, okay, you four stop doing your thing, they need to talk about stuff, and then, okay, we come back to you guys. It's happening all together.
And there's no Aziraphale about to kill Adam thing. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, it was just more game to do it from the beginning, I think.
Whereas in the show, he goes to pull the trigger, and Madame Tracy stops him, and I'm like, you rolled a 20 on your will save over an angel! Like... I was so impressed by her.
Also, I enjoy that inclusion because it does show more acutely how much Aziraphale has become humanized. Like, very few of us, I think, would be willing to kill a child.
Crowley wasn't willing to kill a child.
Crowley wasn't willing to do it.
Which I love that about his character. He is so into, like, he loves kids. And it's come up several times where he loves kids, and it's just like...
I also like that his idea of evil are, like, minor annoyances, really, when you think about it.
And they
like,
always inconvenience him.
Yeah, they're always they're inconveniences is what they are, rather than true evils. And he's always so proud of them, which makes me so happy, but they're not genuinely evil.
Can I get a wahoo?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Although the M25 maybe wasn't meant to be, but it backfired on him.
Again,
Again, inconvenience
Fired,
him.
backfired.
I did not mean that.
Yeah,
Oh god, this was such a good series. I love it very much. I will also be banging with DVDs. We're gonna go ahead. Was there anything else you wanted to jump in with?
oh my goodness.
Literally everything.
Yeah, like, I've read so much about, like, the breaking down about all the little details, and I'm just like, nah.
See, I
Sir Terry Pratchett's hat was in Aziraphale's bookshop, and, like,
that I knew. Also, one of my favorite stories about that is his hat and scarf were on a seat
with popcorn.
with popcorn during the screening. So he was there in spirit, and
Aw.
I read that. I saw the photo, and I started to bawl. Oh, it's so beautiful.
And it was there because he said that he wouldn't believe that Good Omens was made until he was sitting there with popcorn in the theater. So, he was sitting there in the popcorn.
Yes.
In the popcorn.
Well,
whatever, you know what I'm saying.
He was non-corporeal. He might have been in the popcorn. We don't know.
Oh, thanks for putting that inside me. Jeepers, I can't pick it up and move it, but whatever.
Wouldn't it
I
be
was like,
hilarious
oh
if you
yeah,
could?
bag of popcorn.
Yeah. Just see one little popcorn go as he dives in.
Yeah. Maybe he's like the angels and demons. They can shrink to the size.
Yeah.
How many angels dance on the head of a pin? None. Angels don't dance.
One.
One. Oh, that's true. Aziraphale.
As long as it's a gavat.
Oh, that was another thing. Michael Sheen, he said that there were only 2 times where Aziraphale was uninhibitedly happy, and one was dancing the gavotte, and I don't remember when the other one was. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I brought this up now. I don't remember.
No, that's okay. It'll be found. It's online somewhere.
Yeah,
No doubt.
it's definitely online.
I mean, the bromance, I want to say, not just between Aziraphale and Crowley, but also between David Tennant and Michael Sheen, is so sweet. I love watching their pictures being taken together. They're just adorable friends, and I really like that.
and
Yeah, but
interviews
watching
together.
the-
Oh, yeah, the
The
interviews
interviews
together.
together, but the picture thing, because David Tennant has a podcast. And
Does he?
He does.
Okay.
He interviews people for an hour. Was it earlier that year? But anyway, he had Michael Sheen.
Okay, I
As
need
a
to
guest?
find this now.
Yeah. And the first 20 minutes is both of them bitching about how much they hate taking pictures of themselves.
So one of the things that I saw Michael Sheen and David Tennant in was, I think it was during a Graham Norton show interview. It wasn't.
Oh, the
When-
eggplant.
Yeah! Oh my god, David Tennant! You cinnamon roll!
You know what it is.
But David Tennant can say the name of the Welsh train station, and he impressed the hell out of Michael Sheen, who is himself Welsh, by saying it. And it was so cute to watch Michael Sheen's eyes go. Like I was saying, it starts Llanfair, something, go, go, go. Is.
That's so cute.
It was so cute. It was really funny. Yeah. Anyway, alright. We're probably going to go over time. Final thoughts and star rating. Marjolaine?
A solid 4-star. There are a bunch of stuff that were a little bit like the bandstand scene not landing properly that I mentioned earlier. And there's another, because I feel we're talking about stuff that didn't quite hit for me, that irked me a little bit.
No,
Because
talk about
everybody loves it so much. Okay.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
The King Arthur scene.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. In the
And it
cold
was the
open,
stupidest
when
thing
they're
that
in
hit
the-
me. Yeah. Full plate armor and 500.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yes!
80.
Okay, yes, I agree.
Okay. Thank you.
My
It's
little
not just
Celtic...
me.
Yeah, no, my little Celtic Studies heart just went, the fuck?
We watched that and we were like, oh, this is going to bother Sonia.
Yeah, it did. I'd forgotten about it since before you mentioned it, but yes, it did. It really did bother me. I'm like, that is 13th century armor. King Arthur was around pre-600. Come on.
Actually, well, there is the argument that it could be like the 500. See, there was the Saxon invasion was
Yes,
about that
no,
time.
yes,
And
yes.
that's when they...
That's what I mean, like pre-600.
Okay. So the year was good. Except calling it the Kingdom of Wessex felt weird because it made it sound like Arthur was the king of the Wessex.
Yeah, no, and the Wessex were
The Wessex
invaders
were
from
the invaders.
Germania. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know
Accurate.
enough about that.
King Arthur was king of the Britons. Britons. Those were the Celts inhabiting Britain before Rome showed up, and then before the Saxons showed up. Fight me on this. I dare you. There are a whole bunch of theories as to who King Arthur was, but he wouldn't be running around in medieval plate armor.
He would not.
So, anything else?
No, and Chadwell, but we didn't talk about Chadwell.
Well,
We don't
Chadwell is... the actor portrayed him perfectly. I hated him.
Yes.
Which is what you're supposed to do.
I think, you're not supposed to be all that sympathetic. Oh, there is something I wanted to talk about.
Go.
Agnes Nutter.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was amazing.
Loved her so much.
She was the voice for it.
Yes. Yeah.
And
the cast, the full cast, the
Yeah.
radio version,
Yes.
the radio show. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they couldn't get Queen because Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman were like, who are they? Well, the people that were making it were, who are Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman? And I'm like, oh, well, it was a long time ago, but...
Yeah. I loved her very much. I also laughed hysterically at Jack Whitehall, who was the Witchfinder in the beginning, and then also the Witchfinder during the thing. He plays the awkward dope so well. I don't know if it is just great acting or he is himself an awkward dope.
Sorry, he played both characters?
He played himself and his ancestor.
Yeah, himself. And that was Jack Whitehall. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's even better.
And just the skirts full of bombs. Just...
Well, nails and gunpowder.
Nails and gunpowder. Yeah.
Never mind the gunpowder.
Bombs. They're shrapnel bombs, basically.
Let's just pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, you're going to burn me. Kaboom! I'm like, I love you. So good.
Aziraphale gets a phone call earlier before we see her, I think, about her prophecies.
The Book of Prophecy.
Oh, yes. Somebody's looking for the book.
And he's like, I've heard of it, but I don't have it. And then it comes up again in 1941 in the church. I've heard of it, don't have it.
Oh, the church scene! Unless somebody could miracle the bomb not hitting.
Yeah.
God, it was so good. Alright, yeah. So it's 4 out of 5 for
4 out of 5, yeah.
because of the couple of bothersome scenes.
I had
10 out of 5 from Jen.
Okay, sure, there were a couple little bothersome scenes, but I really don't care because the acting was so incredible and just everything to do with it. I will watch this over and over and over and over again. And Caladri watched this. She was 2, almost 3, and she watched this through, even the second time. Like,
Aw.
Yeah, so for myself, a solid 4.5. It was so fun and so good, and my love of Crowley and Aziraphale sort of overshadows the little annoyances I had with it, like King Arthur in medieval plate armor, even though it was just at the end of the Iron Age when he existed. Thanks very much, guys. But see, again, I was unsure about that, because I'm like, maybe that's just another anachronism that they're going to put in, like the world being 6,000 years oldish.
I
Like,
think that was
maybe,
their
but-
decision. I think they mentioned that.
In one of those interviews
That they
about the
would make it-
costume, that they
would
were
make
going
it
for the
anachronistic.
shape of the serpent, so that's why they went full plate armor. And I was like, you could have used the scale of the serpent and then used chainmail instead. That would have fit.
Yeah, yeah. Or, you know,
Whatever.
like, the leather breastplates that have the scales. Anyway, point is, 4.5. I loved it so much. Crowley and Aziraphale for life.
Yes.
Who wants to pick? Oh, Jen, you get to pick the next one, because you've been away for a little bit.
Yeah. I got 2. Oh, no, 1. Legend. That's all it says.
Legend.
Legend.
As in Tom Cruise Legend?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a date.
I think we've already done that one.
Are you sure?
If we haven't, we will keep it, but I'm fairly certain we've already done it. Because I
You wanna
do
pick
remember
another
talking... No. I'll pick another one later, if it turns out we haven't done it.
Okay.
Alright, so
Well,
for the...
mystery.
Yeah, in the next stream, if we haven't already done it, we'll be doing Legend. Otherwise, I'll just pick something out of the bowl and I will announce it on Facebook and Discord and stuff like that. Thanks so much for joining us for this panel. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll be talking about the Iron Giant. Thanks very much, guys. Bye!
Why don't you do-